What's going on, everybody? Geek back. We're going to do a quick video. We're going to cover some of the patch notes that Outriders put out today. The People Can Fly put out specifically about their first major big-scale patch coming to the Outriders game. I'm not going to focus on balancing or some of the DPS changes and bullets and stuff like that. I wanted to focus on a couple things that they're very transparent on that is more technical from our aspect. I love that they were very open about it instead of just saying, hey, we had a server problems and it came down, or this or that. They also put out some information about the stuttering and everything that's going on and some of the things they're doing to fix that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about some Outriders and the patch. So let's jump over to what they made a statement on today. Like to thank everyone in the Outriders community for patience, support, and assistance. Everyone on the Outriders team is continuing to work hard on improving the game, and that they are, and they've been very transparent about it. Okay, so they got patch notes out there. These links I'll put in the description below, so if you want to go read them yourself, feel free to go do so. Also, if you like this content, hit the subscribe button, hit a like, drop me a comment, let me know what you're liking, what you're not liking inside the game. I'm absolutely 100% loving it. So we're going to focus on the patch notes, and we're going to talk about the community appreciation package, some inventory and wipes and restoration. We're not going to really mess with the rebalancing. That's more gameplay stuff. We're going to talk about this multiplayer stability and connections, aka crossplay, which, like I was talking to another friend of mine, Fury, we're looking forward to that coming back so we can actually play together. I'm talking too fast because I want to get through this and I want a long video. All right, so let's go to the connectivity and Postmortem. This is the launch weekend. Everything went to crap. Some people was up, it was down for a couple hours, then it was back up, then it was down. So they said they're very much committed to full transparency. And unlike other developers, and some people are going to be saying I'm comparing this to maybe Bungie. Bungie's been better about it, but many of the developers don't go this far or this technical into what happened as to why we were down. Originally, it was speculated, and there was a couple threads. It made it sound like the Square Enix servers were having issues with the authentication piece, which they did at one point have that problem. But I love the really geeky part on this is where they went into Postmortem. They shared the notes, and they went the tech-heavy insight. We managed to understand that many server calls were not being managed by RAM, which is much, much faster than using an alternative data management methods called swap disk. So RAM, we all know what RAM is, and you always ask someone what a PC is, right? How much RAM do you have your PC? Oh, I have 16 gigs. I got 32 or 128, whatever. You never ask about a swap disk. RAM is really, really fast. It reads, writes, it speeds blazingly fast, and can be flushed relatively quickly. Where a swap disk is meaning that they're taking portion of a hard drive, whether it be a solid state or an M2 or whatever, and they're using that, virtualizing it, and using that as a hot swap thing. So instead, what's happening is it might be passing through the RAM to an extent, but it's like acting like an overflow, and it's reading and writing to there, so the RAM can't catch up. So just understand that one. So RAM is by far way more efficient. If you want more technical breakdown of it, I can be more than happy to do that. So they went in and say it's too slow. Once the data would queue up, it would buffer and it would fill, and once it fill, it would fail. The service would fail. That would cause a domino effect. The cluster would go down, and all of a sudden we're kicked out of the games. So they spent a lot of times working with multiple partners. It sounds like they worked over the weekend, over the Easter weekend. Keep in mind, is Easter. Nobody loves like working on Easter or holidays, man. But they did it anyways because they know they had to make their commitment and they wanted to be honorable and respected by the community. This is what makes or breaks the game, right? How many times have we seen games? Cyberpunk launched like this. Bungie, Destiny 2 had some issues like this. Big things come out. Other games where they launch them and the servers crash, and we're just it's just the day one launch. They weren't properly prepared, and that's all they say, and they let that go. Well, these guys, they went out, and the Outriders devs, they just laid it all out there, and I give them mad kudos for it. So going back to we spent over 2 days and nights applying numerous changes and improvement attempts. We doubled the database servers and vertically scaled them by approximately 50%. You can do scaling and stuff. It doesn't necessarily mean they stood up a new server. It could be a virtual instance they were spinning up to handle more of the calls, would give some more resources. They could have upgraded the servers, I'm assuming they're in a cloud environment. They did some stuff to try and broaden their infrastructure whether physically or virtually, to get more a serviceable, stable platform. We rebalanced user profiles and inventories to the new servers. Subsequently to the scale up and scale out, we also increased disk IOPs on all servers by approximately 40%. So LPs improved by about 40%. Headroom in database, multiplied the number of shards. Now, shards are not what you're talking about in the game, but it's a technical term inside of the computer world for how they're handling data passages back and forth. And continue to do all we were able in order to force data into RAM. Each of the steps help us improve the resilience of the database when under extreme loads, but none of them were the fix. At this moment in time, we are still waiting for a final root cause analysis from our partners, but ultimately what really helped resolve the overloading issue was configuring our database cache cleaning, which was being run every 60 seconds. At this frequency, the database cache cleaning operation demanded too many resources, which in turn led to above-mentioned RAM issues and a snowball effect that resulted in it. We reconfigured the database cache cleanup operations to run more often with fewer resources, which in turn had the desired result of everything generally running at a very comfortable capacity. So, what they just said right there is they have workarounds in place. They're waiting on final root cause analysis to determine exactly what's causing it, working with the programmers and developers of the programs that they're using on the back end to get a fix in place to allow them to say, hey, we need the RAM to be used, not a swap disk, so they can get better performance. So I give them really, really massive props for saying, hey, we got workarounds. We did a lot of stuff. They told us what they did. This didn't say, hey, we got them back up. We're working on it. They actually gave us insight to it. So I think it's great to do all this. You read some of the articles, some of the comments on it. It gets a little. Some people get really techie. Some like to say they know more and everything. I know quite a bit. I'm not going to tell the developers how to do their job. I don't know their software platforms. I don't know their infrastructure. Guy mentioning swapping to SSD disk. Chances are, if they're in a cloud, swap disk is still going to use. They're still using virtualized disk, and you can, depending on what, if you're using S3 buckets or whatever, there's faster and there's slower storage. So it just depends what they're using. Either way, swap files on a disk versus using RAM the swap is just way less effective and way less efficient. So keep that in mind. I'm going to be looking forward to it as they give us more information on that. I am looking forward to figuring out what the root cause was and sharing that with you guys. All right, the next one I wanted to touch on. Was it under patch news? They were talking about the stuttering and everything. Okay, so yeah, right here, this patch, the patch that's coming out beginning of this coming week is going to fix issues with the GPU where the GPU is not being fully utilized. And trust me, as a 39, I have a 3090 FE in my box, right? I got 128 gigs of RAM. I use NVMe 2 latest gen drives, and I have a 5950X processor. When I launch the game and it tells me I'm out of memory on my GPU, I have a problem. And they know this. And a lot of this was dealing specifically with how when we were doing the demo used DirectX 11 right here. It did not use DirectX 12. As soon as I went into the game and I forced it to use and I also don't use NVIDIA Experience software, so I could not go in and tell it to force use DirectX 11 and to turn off Ansel. But I don't have that because I'm not using the Go Experience. I don't care for overlays. I think it's bloatware. If I want graphically improved overlays and everything like that, I think the software I'm using, the game that I'm playing, should have it in it. I shouldn't depend on somebody else putting that on there, charging another resource on top of it. Sorry, I just call me weird. The only thing I do is I get drivers from NVIDIA. I manually check them once a week to see if I got the latest and greatest, test them out, and then I push them. Just how I work. So they did in the Go Live. We were using DirectX 12 instead of 11, and that was causing issues because DirectX 12 gives developers a lot more finite control and detailed control. Just you can dig in really, really deep. And that was causing issues. Where DirectX 11 is more generalized, it's more proven. You can't get all the specifics in there. You can't do all the fine tunings, but it was just around. That's what it does. As soon as I forced DirectX 11, I had a lot less crashing. So what they're doing is they're working with that. They've been working with NVIDIA. NVIDIA put out a driver on the 30th. I fully expect NVIDIA to have another driver come out here in the next week or so, along with this patch that should bring a lot more stabilization. I did talk to two of my friends that are using AMD 6800 XT cards, and they had similar issues with the stuttering as well. So it's not just NVIDIA specific. Keep that in mind. It's been proven. If you want to read up more on it, we can talk about post notes. You can come here again. The links will be below. You can read about it. They were talking about the resolutions, patch post support, the 30, 60, 90, 120 FPS, things on the consoles, PC fixes. For most of us that are on the console, there's not much you can do. You have to wait for the patches to come. The PC, we had some more ability to do some workarounds. I'm really excited for it, and yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so with those being said, the two major ones, they're still working on connectivity, right? And they're working on the GPU stutters. We're getting fixed. They did the demo for a month, and I'm not faulting them on this. They did everything right in the book. And I still recommend. Would I pay full price for this game? Yes, I would. I would definitely play it any day. The game has been a lot of fun. Okay? Hopefully there's not too many people out there. Oh, this is too powerful, or this class can't do this or that. You know what? If you don't like it, play a different class. I'm on a Devastator. My main is a Devastator. He is of the four, he is the weakest. He puts out the least amount of DPS by a minute or two. So if you haven't done expeditions, it's all about the time. Can you get the gold? Can you get it under this amount of time? Can you do sub 8 minutes or 6.5 minutes or whatever? Like if you got Glad, I think he's running 6.5 minutes. You know, things like that. But for me, I'm just having fun. And if I want to play a faster class that does a lot more DPS, then I'll flip over to my freaking Techromancer. But I like playing with 3 people, and I like playing my Devastators. I can be the AoE tank. You know, I like to tank. I like to be the guy that's the bullet sponge. I take the ads. I take their attention while the other 2 guys or gals are out there killing ads and killing the mobs. You know, we're making them all dead. It's teamwork. Or if you do solo, I got really good survivability. I'm just not going super fast. Anyways, so I don't really care about mixing. I'm talking about the rebalancing and a few things, bullet skills, all that other stuff. The other thing we want to talk about that's more technical, there's 2 parts, is inventory wipes and restoration. They've gone into details here. They are working through it. They've got the records. We believe that the rate of this bug appearing should be greatly reduced now with the upcoming patch. Restoration is going to take place on a specific day and should be one-time event. So we're getting everything back. There's another bug where they got to get all the. If you did the pre-order, you get some guns and stuff, and it keeps filling up my inbox. I have so many, and you can't delete them. You can't do anything with them. So they're fixing that. The restoration will not be possible for items that were acquired, but the game connection was terminated before an autosave could completed. So they're going to try and get everything was back. If it was saved, if you had an autosave, and that means that you're probably getting back. But if you picked up a piece of gear and you crashed immediately, you're probably not going to get that gear back if it was lost. But they're working on it. So at least they're being honest across the board. And they put it right here. We will be unlikely to restore an inventory full of blue gear. And we don't care about blue gear. We're just at this point, if you're leveling, that's fine. We get that. Not a problem. For any individual restorations that occur in the future, we plan to equip our teams to help on an ad hoc basis. That means you go down. You can actually go to their support teams. They have a support system, specifically through Reddit and some stuff, and you can make a request, and they'll help you get your gear back. It's pretty cool. A support system. People are actually here to support the players. If you have a game problem, you lose some gear, you're not SOL, you're not out of luck. They're here to help. They want you to have a good time in the game. All right? So just keep that in mind. They're working on that one. And they love the community so much, they're working on a community appreciation package as soon as it loads. So I love this part. This is what I love so much. It said, after working on Outriders for more than 5 years, we are disappointed as you that the launch weekend did not go as planned. They ran into connectivity issues. They explained, and we already went over that. Throughout all of this, we really appreciate all your messages of support and encouragement, and they help us power through and improve the situation. We would like to thank each and every one of you. Beyond just saying it, however, we would like to confirm that we are working on a small appreciation package for our launch window players. We are still working through the exact details of it, but our intentions are as follows, and this is pretty awesome. All players who played between March 31st and April 11th are eligible. Okay, so today is the 8th of when I'm forwarding this. All players. We're going to restore all players between that day. Any players outside the above window for whom we will have performed an automatic inventory wipe restoration are also eligible. Your highest level character will receive a level appropriate legendary weapon. This is pretty freaking awesome. A level appropriate amount of titanium, also pretty awesome. The emote frustration, which is going to be awesome. Oh, frustrated. So the frustration in there, I love, they're taking it serious. They're like, we're going to give you a legendary weapon that's at your rate, at your level, right? We're going to give you titanium, which is used for infusing, upgrading, or the crafting system is one of the main costs. And then they just made a joke and said, hey, we're going to give you the frustration emote for free because, we're all frustrated. We just got to get through it. These are intentions. I love this about them. They're good spirits. They're good everything. I love it. So with that said, I don't want to go too much further in here. I will post links. You can read through these yourself. If you have questions or comments, let me know. I'm going to go deeper into, once we get the patch for the GPU stuff, to see if that stabilizes gaming streaming on a single system. Also, if it impacts, I noticed some bugs where if you have Discord running and the audio bleeds over, you had to do some throttling because that would also cause some issues with the frames. And that's not with streaming. So working through that. A few other bugs. But these guys are nailing it out of the park. If you're enjoying the game, let me know in the comments below. Again, if you found this useful or helpful or any of the other videos I do, please hit the subscribe button. It means the world to me as I'm trying to build up on YouTube. And I'm trying to figure this all out. I'm not the best video editor, but I'm learning. I will be doing more videos technical videos on Outriders, more on Destiny videos. Although Destiny's on my crap list right now. I don't like the TOD that they put out today. They're nerfing too much stuff. This is Outriders. Let's stay good. Positive. I'll be doing all this stuff. So new other games coming out towards the end of the summer. Scarlet Nexus and Kenya. I'm going to be covering those. So again, you guys are amazing. You've been showing so much love. I really do appreciate it. You guys stay safe. And until then, I will see you in game. And I can't wait for crossplay to get fixed next week so I can start running with my buddies on the Xbox and the PS5. You guys are awesome. Stay safe and stay out of trouble.